Hello and welcome to yet another episode of An English Guy Watching Wrestling. I'm the English Guy, I'm Nick. Thank you so much for watching this video and of course click on it. I'm much appreciated. And in this one, we're going to be going over the AEW Dark episode from the 9th of February 2021. With that being said, let's get into it. And before I get into it, I would say this week's episode is one of the best episodes they've done all year, and they've done some good episodes this year. So, thumbs up to start. Now, I'll say this: if this is the first time you've ever seen one of my videos, I'll do this often. So, little heads up for you. Okay. So, first match was Nick Comoroto, QT Marshall, and Dustin Rhodes versus Rory Morales and Jersey Muscle Society. Now, Nick Comoroto recently joined the Nightmare family. And we know who the Nightmare family are. It's Cody Rhodes, QT Marshall, Aaron Solo, Lee Johnson, Brandy Rhodes, and a few others. And they're part of the training facility that I'm not too sure who actually owns it. I'm pretty sure it is Dustin and Cody Rhodes. QT Marshall trains there as well in Georgia. And it's not long been open. So, of course, great to see Dustin, QT Marshall, and Cody. And I'm not too sure who others, to be completely honest, passing on the knowledge, but Nick Comoroto has recently joined the Nightmare family, and so well done. And to be honest, it's great to see Nick getting more and more of a push in AEW because I like him. He's a very good wrestler. He's someone who's really started to improve as well. He's a powerhouse like nothing else. He's strong as they possibly come against Rory Morales, who I really like. I think he's a great lucha libre wrestler. He hasn't got a mask, I'll say that. Very, very good. And the Jersey Muscle Squad, I've never seen before. Of course, 6-man opening match, and a good match it was, to be fair. And mostly it was Dustin, QT, and Nick Comoroto getting most of the offense. But, again, it's to show what Nick Comoroto can do, start to build a little bit more. It's paying off. It really is. I really, really like what he's doing. And hopefully he'll get more of a push because he's a guy who's starting to show improvement. And so, when you under the tutelage of QT Marshall and Nick Comoroto, QT Marshall, Dustin Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes, and of course more, you are going to get an education. Simple as that. So, good opening 6-man tag match. I really enjoyed it. So, good stuff. Thumbs up. Don't forget that. Next match was SCU versus Lee Johnson and Aaron Solo. Now, Lee Johnson and Aaron Solo, as I said, also members of the Nightmare family, against a veteran tag team like SCU, and this was a superb match, to be completely honest. You got two very good tag teams, and again, I'm starting to see more and more from Aaron Solo and Lee Johnson. I'm seeing them as a tag team more, and I like it. I really do like their chemistry and the way they work together. It's like they've been tagging for a while. They haven't been tagging very long, but it's always good to see. And of course, you're against SCU, one of the most veteran and beloved tag teams in wrestling. I mean, they're so good. And this was a very, very good match, to be completely honest. Great action from both teams, and it really showed that they have chemistry against each other, because I don't think I've ever seen these two teams face each other, ever. But you've never guessed it. They clicked so well, and this was a really, really good tag match. And, of course, SCU picked up the win, as you may or may not know. If they lose, they split as a tag team. So I kind of knew who was going to win this match, but it was really good to see Aaron and Lee get some really good moves in, and I think they're going to continue and get better and better. As I said, AEW Dark starting to give the wrestlers wrestle mainly on AEW Dark, get a little bit more going on. I want to see it continue. It's been great, so thumbs up for that. Next match was Brian Cage versus Jake St. Patrick. Of course, the Machine Brian Cage, the FTW World Heavyweight Champion, against a guy, Jake St. Patrick, who has been, I think it's his third appearance ever in AEW Dark. But this was a squash match. It's as simple as that. Brian Cage won with the draw claw, and Brian Cage, he's a machine. He is a machine, to be completely honest. He is ridiculously strong, but also ridiculously agile. So, squash match, Brian Cage won with the draw claw. That's it. It was only, I think, a minute and 42 seconds of match, so not long at all. Next match was Miranda Elise, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I hope I am, versus Nyla Rose. Now, of course, Nyla Rose has been added to the AEW AEW tournament for the women wrestlers, and the winner gets a number one contender for Hikaru Shida's world title. And I will say this before I get into the match: it's really good to see AEW doing this, and this is going to be me saying this. I'm pretty sure Kenny Omega hasn't saying this, and I'll say why. Because half the bracket is Japanese wrestlers from the Joshi system, I'm pretty sure, against wrestlers who wrestle mainly in AEW. But both sides, I don't know all the women on the Japanese side. I know a few of them, I will say that. All the women on the American side are great choices, to be completely honest. And it's going to be a great tournament, and Nyla Rose is part of it. Of course, former AEW Women's Champion herself. And this was not the longest match, another squash match to be completely honest, but Nyla Rose, she is one of the most versatile wrestlers in the women's division, to be honest. Because of her size, she can fly and when she wants to, and she does some really cool stuff, and she's a powerhouse against, unfortunately, Miranda Elise, who lost the match. Let's see the power bomb. And it was a fun little squash match. So, yeah, thumbs up again. Next match was a match I was actually looking forward to quite a bit. VSK, who is a guy who's really starting to grow me as a performer and as a wrestler. He's very innovative against Pac. Now, I'm not going to show any favouritism because Pac's a fellow Englishman and legitimately a wrestler who I have a whole lot of respect for because of just how good he is. If you ever saw him before he is now, he's more bonked up now. He was the most, at the time, when he first started, the most innovative high five I've ever seen. He was the first guy I ever saw do a standing 450 moonsault, standing, of course, with shooting star press. He did everything. Still does some of those things now. And these two just clicked. Wasn't the longest match, I will say that, but these two just clicked instantly. And it was a really, really good pick by whoever chose to book this match. It was the right one to do because, and I give a thumbs up to that person, whoever it may be. It was a really, really good match. Not the longest match, but this was superb. For the 4 minutes and 4 seconds the match lasted, both men really did some really good offense against each other. And, excuse me, my apologies. This was a great match. And it's just, as I said, despite the shortness of it, really good. I liked what both men brought to the table. And great to see Pac get a win. I don't know, I might be wrong, but I'm not sure if he's ever been in AEW Dark before. So if he's on AEW Dark even more, I'm all for it. Definitely all for it. So there you go. Next match was Casey Navarro versus Sonny Kiss. Again, Casey Navarro is a guy I like a great deal. He's a really, really innovative wrestler. Against Sonny Kiss, the Concrete Rose, who I'm going to say is probably the most athletic wrestler in all of AEW. And this was a very good match as well. Not the longest match, only 3 minutes and 20 seconds, but again, when you've got two very good wrestlers who can do what they do in their style mix like this, it just works. It really does. And I only wish the match had been longer because I thought these two could have gone a lot more at it, shall we say. But, it's AEW Dark. It's free. You can't really complain. But no, this was a good match. I did enjoy it, so I'm done. Next match was the ever-improving Takante versus Alex Gracia. Now, I've said it before on these reviews that Takante is perhaps the most improved women's wrestler in all of AEW in the last month or so, I'd say by now. She's just getting better and better, and whatever training she's doing, it's paying off, you can tell. Or she's not doing any training at all, maybe. She's just starting to show what she knows, a bit more in the ring. And it's shown. She's, again, this week, just another fantastic performance. She is really, really becoming a star. I'd say a rising star of the women's division at the moment for me. Against Alex Gracia. Now, I thought Alex Gracia's last week had a better match. I'm not saying she had a bad match here at all. But, again, this is one of the most innovative submission moves as well for Takante to win the match. And she's, as I said, she's going to get better and better. I mean, I don't be surprised to see her get a push in the main roster. Or possibly even title match in the future. I mean, to be honest, I'd love to see it against Hikaru Shida, to be completely honest. That'd be fantastic. If you hear bells ringing in the background, I've got a church over there, and the bells are ringing because it's 9 p.m. So, apologies if you can hear that. Anyway. But no, a short match, but a great match, to be honest. Takante, keep doing what you're doing. It's working. And the next match was a match I did not expect, and I'll say why in a moment. It was Marco Stunt versus Ryan Namath. Now, Ryan Namath is the brother of Dolph Ziggler. I forget his first real name, but obviously his second name is Namath. And Ryan Namath, I think it was only his second appearance ever on AEW television. And he won the match. And I consider it an upset because I thought Michael Stunt was for sure going to win the match. No, Ryan won the match. And I was completely surprised by this. I really was. I don't really get surprised that much when it comes to AEW Dark because obviously it's usually the more established guys against up and comers, and you kind of know what might happen. What happened here, I did not see coming at all. And for what it was, the match itself was short, but it's actually good. Most of the offense did go to Ryan Namath, and I thought to myself at one point, it's going to be a comeback story for Michael Stunt. No, not at all. And Ryan won with a brutal neckbreaker, almost like a rude awakening kind of neckbreaker, but not exactly on the shoulder, but literally flew down. But the momentum was mental. I've never seen a neckbreaker that solid, hard hitting, shall we say, before. That's not on the shoulder. But this was a shock, and I consider an upset. But again, if it keeps you guessing, if it keeps you on top of your toes, then obviously it's what you want. But short match, but the offense from both men, nothing wrong with that. So kind of cool. So, thumbs up. Next match was pretty Peter Avalon and Cesar Bononi versus Sean Dean and Charlie Bravo. Now, I write Charlie Bravo. So misspelling on here, not me. I didn't write that. But anyway, Peter Avalon and Bononi have kind of forged a tag team. And Peter Avalon is now a regular of AEW Dark. So is Bononi. Sean Dean, of course, the captain. I will salute for that. And Charlie Bravo, another veteran of the United States military. So I shall salute him for that. Well done, sir. And a short match, but this was actually a good tag match because I knew he was going to win because I do feel kind of bad for Sean Dean. He worked so hard, but I don't think he's ever won a match in AEW. If he has not won a match, then I will. So if he has won a match, I will hold up my hands and say fine. But this was a good tag match, to be fair, and the chemistry between Bononi and Avalon was starting to get better and better throughout the match. And I thought Sean Dean and Charlie Bravo were good as a tag team. They worked well. And I think they may have tagged together before in the past. And if they had, you could see in this match. Good tag match, to be fair. It was good fun. Oh, so next match was my co-match of the night. It was Dark Order's number 10 versus Baron Black. Well, I say co-match of the night. I had 3 matches in the night that were really, really good. This was, okay, third best match of the night. I'll say that. Dark Order's number 10 versus Baron Black. Now, Baron Black is a guy who's improving a lot in AEW Dark. Number 10, he's part of the Dark Order, one of my favourite factions in all of AEW. I really love them. And this was an absolutely superb match. And they've worked together before, and you could tell the chemistry of these two was just first rate. You know, it's like first time I've ever seen them in AEW, first time I've ever seen them face each other. But of course, you could tell they faced each other before, and it was a superb back and forth match. It could have gone either way, to be completely honest. I was half expecting it to be kind of an upset because the way Baron Black was wrestling. But no, Dark Order number 10 won the match, and this was cracking stuff. Chemistry was there, really good back and forth offense. It was hard to pick a winner, but of course, you know who's going to win. But they were both winners in this match in terms of what they did and how they did it. It was a great match, and I wouldn't mind seeing these two go out again in AEW, to be completely honest. I mean, they had the chemistry, it worked. Baron Black again showing more and more improvement. Number 10, always reliable, but well done, lads. Great match. Great match. Next one was my second best match of the night. Red Velvet versus Eve Elise. So, Diamante, my apologies. Now, Red Velvet is starting to get more of a push in AEW, and she's starting to show what she can do as well against Eve Elise. And as far as I know, I've never seen these two wrestle each other before, but boy, did they have an excellent match. Short match, 5 minutes and 40 seconds, but they really went back and forth. And again, it was a match that could have gone either way. But Red Velvet did get the win in a brutal kick to the side of the head. I don't know exactly what she calls it, to be completely honest, but it's good. And Red Velvet is starting to build more and more momentum. I'm not 100% sure if she's part of the Nightmare family, to be completely honest. She's obviously friends with Cody Rhodes and friends with Randy Rose. But I really thought this was a really good, another great women's match. And again, a short match, but boy, did these two just absolutely tear it up in that time. I loved it. This was cracking stuff. And again, ladies, thumbs up. Which brings us on to the match of the night, the main event. And I've been watching AEW Dark since the very start, and this is probably if not the best AEW Dark main event they've ever done. And considering the two wrestlers involved, not shocked. Jack Evans making his return to AEW after a short time away with Angelico. Always great to see the hybrid two against Joe Janela. And Joe Janela, of course, recently returned from an injury, or short-term injury. And these two just lit the place on fire. A really amazing match. I can't help but think these two were going to click, and they clicked spectacularly. Two very different styles, two very different wrestlers, but opposites attract, and this was no exception. This was better than that. Really enjoyed the work rate from both men in this match. High risk. I mean, Joe Jenner, if you know him, he's definitely not afraid to take high risk. Neither is Jack Evans. Not that much of that in this match. I mean, Jack Evans did some high flying, sure, but they kept it more grounded in the middle of the match. The start of the match, definitely not. Jack Evans attacked Joe Janela at the very start, and this was definitely AEW Dynamite almost main event worthy, to be completely honest, because both men were just excellent. This was one of the best matches I've seen either man have in AEW. And again, when I said two guys that come together and just click, and you wouldn't mind seeing them do it again, this was definitely proof of that. And I really can't help but feel this could be one of the AEW Dark matches of the year. At the end of the year, maybe. Obviously, got a long way to go. But if this ends up being at the top for me, I would not be surprised. I'm not going to make a list, I will say that. But looking back at this match, it was just superb. I thought this was easily the best main event they've ever done in AEW Dark. And in the past, they've done some really good ones. But this one was hands above. So I'll say stands above. I'll say stands above. But no, really good main event. To top of actually a very good episode of Dark. So again, AEW doing really good stuff this year, and of course, all wise towards tomorrow's main event. A main event I think the whole world just wants to watch. Kenta and Kenny Omega. What the club, shall I say? No, I know AEW and New Japan kind of working together. So even though New Japan owns the name Bullet Club, who's to say? Against Lance Archer and John Moxley, it's just going to be all out war. I can't wait. I really can't. It's going to be a superb main event. It's going to be a superb episode of Dynamite, I think. But all eyes on AEW right now. They are really lighting the world on fire with the wrestling. I mean, I know not many wrestling promotions, independent promotions are out there because of the pandemic, but it's still AEW have had an amazing start to 2021, and it's getting better and better. I've started working with Impact, now working with New Japan. The possibilities are limitless, and it's just going to be a great year for them. And a great episode of Dynamite this week. So, that being said, that's it for this. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all next time. So until that time, thumbs up for you again. Take care.